Okay, and we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to March Office Hour. We have a very special office hour today. We changed up the time of this office hour just to make sure that students can make it because it's on the weekend. But if you guys prefer to have it on the weekday again, just go ahead and let us know. And look, Galaxy just joined. Hi, Galaxy. I'll give a quick introduction. My name is TJ. I'm the community manager of the FSA program. And that right there, who just joined, is Galaxy. He is the president. And we have a special guest, Margaret. Margaret, if you can introduce yourself, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Margaret Leibovic. I'm an engineer on the Firefox mobile team working on Firefox for Android right now. I've been with Mozilla, part of the Mozilla community for almost 6 years, I guess now. I've worked on desktop Firefox and other things, Firefox OS a bit. And yeah, I'm here to talk to you today about open source and getting involved with that with Mozilla. So I'll share my slides, I guess, here.
Yeah. Awesome. Students who are watching, if you guys have any questions, you can jot it down the Etherpad, or you can go on IRC #FirefoxStudents. And yeah, all right. Go ahead, Margaret. Thanks so much.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I should also note these slides are online. We can share a link at the end too, so you can access them afterwards as well. So yeah, I'm here to talk about open source at Mozilla. So Mozilla is a bit unusual as far as tech companies go, if you would consider us a tech company, because we're actually a nonprofit organization. You all are probably familiar with this. 100% open source. All the software we work on is open source. And our products are built to support our mission. So when it comes to building a browser, for example, a lot of our big competitors, they're not building products to support a mission. They're building products to support their companies and shareholders and things like that. So why should you get involved in contributing to open source? So I imagine all of you are involved in the Mozilla community and promoting Firefox, but to get involved in actually contributing code, open source coding, so what are some reasons to do that? So the first big one is to develop skills as a software developer. I've seen a lot of contributors show up on our team and grow as developers, and it's awesome to see that. Explore new code bases. So let's say you're learning to program and working on your own projects or school projects. Those are great, but it's also great to explore a huge code base that is Mozilla's code and learn more. See what some real-world code looks like. And you get to build and ship cool things. So when you contribute something to desktop Firefox, for example, hundreds of millions of people may use whatever you just built, which is pretty impactful and awesome. And you get to meet new mentors and friends, which I think is one of my favorite parts of Mozilla, is just the people who are involved and can make friends hanging out on IRC all times of day. People all over the world, meet interesting people. So choosing a project to get involved with. So you say, okay, I want to get involved with open source, and specifically with Mozilla. What should I work on? I don't even know. So one of the first things to consider is the technology stack that it's using. So let's say you know Python really well. You've been learning that in coursework, for example. Finding a project that uses Python would be a nice way to ramp into contributing, being familiar already with the technology that's used. Second thing is an interesting product. You should work on something that gets you excited, that you like, maybe something that you use, like Firefox, and something that you really want to make better. And then last thing is a fun community, meeting some fun people who are working on these projects, which as you start to introduce yourself to different communities, you can figure out what groups of people you connect with well, and those are great places to continue to be involved. So there's lots of coding projects at Mozilla that you can get involved with. The first big one is Firefox. This is what I'm involved with, so I'm a bit biased here. But I have links here to more documentation about these different projects as well. So if you get my slides after the talk, you can dig into these projects. Second one, Firefox OS. You're probably all familiar with that as well. Also another big project. The developer tools, if you're a web developer and you've used the tools on your site or whatever you're working on, like those are also all just part of Mozilla's project, and you can make those tools better. Also, all our websites are open source, so things like, well, just all sorts of things like mozilla.org or like the Mozilla Reps website, or if there's a Firefox Student Ambassadors website, they're all open source and you can get involved with all of those. WebMaker is another project that helps people learn about the web, but there are all these tools that someone, our community, creates to do that teaching. And on the like Mozilla research side of things, Rust is this new programming language, and Servo is an experimental browser built with that language. So if you want something that's much more kind of experimental, bleeding edge technology, those are some great communities to get involved with. And there's a lot more projects than this. These are just some of the big name projects that I thought of mentioning. So making your first open source contribution. The first step is to get connected. Like I mentioned before, a big part of open source is just meeting new people and new mentors. So finding out where this group hangs out on IRC or wherever, just get yourself connected to people, to other humans. The second thing would be to get the code for whatever project you're working on and make a build. Just see if you can get a development environment set up where you can create the project itself and like play around with it. That's a huge step. Then the third thing would just be find one small thing to fix. Just getting the whole process of making a change and submitting a change is a huge ordeal. So if you don't want to also get caught up in like building a whole new feature or some really complicated bug. So a lot of these groups at Mozilla will have things called mentor bugs that are tagged as, and good first bugs, tagged as issues that are good ways for new people to ramp into the project. And then the next step, you write some code, you find your bug you're going to work on, you start working on it. And then you have to submit a patch for code review. Different projects have different processes for how this works. Some use GitHub pull requests and some use Bugzilla and patches. But you submit your code to be reviewed by a peer, which is just someone who has like the authority, who's involved in the project to approve that change. And then after that, you might have to address some comments and improve your patch a little bit, but then you watch your change get merged, and it's now part of the project and you've contributed. So I'm going to go through a more concrete example of these steps. Fixing your first Firefox bug. As I said before, I work on Firefox, so this is what I know, the project that I know best. So the first step, getting connected. So a lot of the Firefox community hangs out on IRC. I guess most of the Mozilla community is on IRC and all sorts of channels. Pound Introduction is a really good channel for new coding contributors. You can show up in there and say, hey, I want to figure out how to get a build set up. I'm just getting started, and there's lots of really nice people in there who like to help out. And then for Firefox specifically, FX Team is a channel where people talk about Firefox front-end development. So if you have a question about a specific issue that you're working on there, or just want to introduce yourself because you just started working on one of those bugs, that's a good place to do it. And then Firefox Dev is a mailing list that you can join where discussion about development happens. So most projects all have their own specific mailing lists. So whatever project you get involved with, I'd encourage you to find the open public mailing list where people talk about like plans for the project and different issues that come up. So the second step, to make a build of Firefox. So first, you download various build prerequisites that you might need. We have this is all really well documented on MDN, the Mozilla Developer Network site. So luckily, a lot of people do this pretty often, so the documentation is pretty good. Then you download the source code. We use Mercurial as our main canonical source, code source, but we also have a Git mirror. So if you're more familiar with Git and that's what you've used in version control, you can also use that for Mozilla. And then we have this handy command, mock, that comes with the source code. And so if you just say mock build, it will magically build Firefox for you, which is awesome. It used to be a lot more complicated than that, but some really great developers, nice developers who are thinking about newcomers made that easier. And then I always ask questions on IRC. Sometimes, depending on what your desktop configuration is like, as we get people who run different versions of Linux or something, where maybe there's some customized configuration where you need help because you run into some error. This is a great, you can ask questions on IRC there. And so step 3, finding a small bug to fix. So to do that, as I mentioned before, we use Bugzilla for our Firefox bugs. And we do maintain a set of good first bugs, which are issues that are easy for a newcomer to come and fix, usually something pretty simple and small. And then those also have a mentor labeled on them. So that's the person that you should reach out to and say, hey, I'm interested in working on this bug. And that person, because they volunteered themselves to be a mentor for that bug, they're volunteering to help you get up and running and get all that set up. And so step 4, writing some code. I really encourage you to ask your mentor for help. When working on getting a patch going, it can sometimes be confusing and difficult to know what to change or where you need to change something. Your mentor can help point you in the right direction, tell you what files to look for. Grepping through the code base is definitely an option as well, but it can be very easy to get lost in lots and lots of code, and it's nice if there's a person there who can help you. And then also try to write a test. This is we have a lot of automated tests that go along with our code base. And so if you can write a test, an automated test that gets checked in with your change, then that'll make sure it doesn't break in the future. And I mentioned this, I guess, earlier, trying not to be overwhelmed by the giant code base. There's a lot of code. Nobody knows all of it. And I think this is a really great part of contributing to open source, is you work on this skill of being able to be effective without actually knowing all the details of the whole entire code base. Step 5, code review. As I mentioned before, we have a system of creating a patch. So basically just the difference between the main repository and your new version of what you changed. And your mentor will help you figure out how to attach that to Bugzilla and find a reviewer. Usually, if you look in the version control history for the file, you can see who has edited this file and who has reviewed changes in the past, and those are good people to ask. But your mentor can help you, and often the mentor will be the reviewer on these bugs. And it's a bit scary if you haven't gone through code review before to be putting your work out there in public and someone is essentially like telling you this is good or this is bad, maybe should be better in some part. But it's a really great way to become a better developer. You learn so much about new techniques for doing things, and also it just makes the code base a lot better if there's 2 sets of eyeballs looking at every change instead of just one. And then you watch your change get merged. So after working through any details of review comments, you should be good to go, which is exciting. And then in 12 to 18 weeks, your change will be in the released version of Firefox, and hundreds of millions of people may be using what you've worked on, which is really exciting. And you could tell all your friends, oh, I changed this one bit of this one dialogue or something like that. You can be proud of having contributed to the browser. And so some key takeaways that I want you to take away from this talk are, the first one is that human interaction is a really important part of the process. This applies to any open source project and any community. Making connections with the developers on the other side of IRC and the other side of Bugzilla, that's a really important part of being involved and working with these other developers. And also make sure you're having fun. As a volunteer contributor, volunteer contributors have the luxury of they can just do whatever they want to do. They're under no obligation to fix any one thing or another thing. So there's lots of places to get involved. So find what you like and what makes you excited. and work on that. And yeah, there are lots of great open source communities to explore within Mozilla and outside of Mozilla as well too. And it's fun to be able to go around and get involved in various projects. So if I convinced you to get involved, you can grab my slides. They're on GitHub, and take a look at the links that are in here. And also my email is margaret@mozilla.com if you want to email me with questions about how to get involved or different projects that might interest you. I can help like reroute your request to the right place. But yeah, that's all the slides I have. I don't know if TJ is back to take over.
Great.
Okay.
No, that's awesome. Students, anyone watching, make sure you guys get connected with Margaret if you have any more questions or just want to ask about open source. She's very helpful. That was a great presentation. I hope that gave a lot of you an insight into what open source is and how you can start contributing. And thank you so much, Margaret, for coming. That was very, very helpful. If you need her presentation, would like to see it again, it's in the Etherpad. And is there anything else you would like to say, Margaret, or are you good?
No, that's it, unless there's any questions for me.
So there's live questions right now, but if there are questions, I will send them over to you through email and have them answered.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds good. And I'm on IRC always, basically. So if you need help finding which IRC channel to join to get involved with a various project, I can definitely help with that.
Awesome. That's awesome. Margaret's the best. Thank you. All right, awesome. That's great. Thank you so much for your talk. We're going to go into the other section of our office hour, so you're free to log off, but we are very thankful for you here.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome. I love that there's students involved with Firefox and Mozilla. It's great. I got involved as a student. I was an intern at Mozilla long ago, so I think it's a great opportunity to learn more. But yeah, I will sign off since it's Saturday night here. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for coming. Bye. Awesome. That was a really great talk. I know there are a lot of students out there who are familiar with open source or maybe not familiar with open source, so this is a great office hour. Please, please, please share it with your friends and anyone who you think may be interested in the topic. It's very educational, and we always want to invite more people to join our community. Okay, now we are going to head into pre-submitted questions from our Etherpad and Galaxy. Hello.
Yeah.
If you can help read off the questions, that would be awesome.
We have a question from Arman from Bangladesh, and his question is, how can I get started in FSA and how can I get benefit from it?
Okay, cool. So I'll answer first part of the question, and I wonder if, Raj, are you here? Sorry, your screen is loud. Okay, so how you can get started, there is a sign up link to sign up for the program. Once you sign up, you receive a confirmation email, beginner's guide, and some next step. And with that, you are technically in the program. What we say is the more you contribute, the more benefits you'll get. So we have recognition, and I think this program gives students a lot of technical marketing experience, and it also connects them with a network of students around the world, literally. We have a lot of regional leads who mentor students, and we have a lot of club leads who are taking leadership opportunities on campus, who are hosting a bunch of events, and they're just really, really growing and gaining a lot from the program. So I would say what benefits you'll get from it, it really depends on you, how much you want to put in, but the more you put in, the more you get out of it. And from just Margaret's presentation, you can see that joining this program, it's not just about hosting events sometimes. There are things you can do online, like contributing code, learning more about this open source community. And Galaxy, do you have any input on what other benefits you can get? Because you've been in the program, you've been a volunteer. What are some things, I guess, joining the program would give?
Yeah. You get to meet many people, different people outside normally, or whom you meet in your college or university. You can work on different projects together, collaborate with each other. You can work on projects, learn something, and which will also be useful in your resume to put up. And you get to learn, you get to attend training sessions like this one, office hours, and there are lots more.
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a lot of benefits. I don't know how to even list them out, but um, again, yeah, meeting people was a huge thing. Most of the people on eBoard and regional ambassador leads I met through this program. And I've been meeting a lot of students and Firefox Club leads, just sending me emails, we're just chatting on Facebook. You know, it's awesome. You really do meet people who you normally wouldn't get a chance to meet. So this is a great opportunity to network and also to gain different resources. And our program is growing and growing right now. You know, we're trying to get recognition systems set up, trying to get more things set up and more resources for clubs and for students. So you'll stick along with us. I think you'll get a lot from it. Okay, and is there another question?
Yeah, we have another question from Devendra. He's from India, and his question is, how can I contribute to Mozilla community? What are my benefits as an individual, and how can I organize events at my college? So we have already answered how to contribute and what are the benefits as an individual. So the question is, how can I organize events at my college?
Okay, so organizing events on campus. The number one thing you want to do is you want to get in contact with maybe like your administrator or a professor, so they can become your advisor or they can approve you having the event on campus. If you need some kind of letter or proof that you're an ambassador to host an event, we have a link for you to get that kind of letter. And our VP recognition actually just finished off all of the requests recently, so anyone who requested should have received it. Other ways to organizing events on campus, you want to find a venue, you want to find a topic, and if you go on our wiki, we have different topics of events that you can host. They can be introduction sessions, they can be Firefox OS development sessions. If you yourself can't give the talk, you can invite a speaker, a Mozilla rep, or even another ambassador from another university to come and join this event and give the talk. What I would recommend is if you need more help, if you need more assistance and guidance, reach out to the Regional Ambassador League. And since you're from India, you know, reach out to Santos, Bella, Tanay, Mayor. They're great. And you can even reach out to Galaxy and Raj and Baraj and Vis. You know, like everyone in India are so helpful from the community. So reach out to people, go on our Facebook page and ask what are the best ways to host an event, and all the students will be willing to help you. So if you need more guidance, again, contact Regional Ambassador League or shoot us an email with more details. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I think that is it for the questions on the Etherpad, which is awesome. So I see that a lot of people are getting answers through the FAQ on our wiki and watching previous office hours for any questions that they have. If you have any questions, again, just send us email, write it on the Etherpad, we'll check it later, and always, always, always go to IRC channel, #FirefoxStudents, because we'll be in here. Okay, and I think that concludes our March office hour. Thank you guys so much for attending. Cool. Great. See you guys next time.